The purpose of this video is to take a look at how to use the Texas Instruments TI-8384 series of calculators to get the values for mean and standard deviation using the function 1var stat. We want to show how to get the data entered in the list. I'm going to do an example with some numbers and we can see how that all works out. Now, a little background before I put the numbers in, because this is a real life example. We have to remember that there's populations and there's samples. Populations have a mean, a variance, and a standard deviation, so do the samples. In both cases, the means are calculated the same way. Add up all the numbers and divide by the number we have. But for variance and its square root, standard deviation, we add things up, but in the population, we divide by the total number. In the samples, we divide by the degrees of freedom, which is that total number minus 1. The calculator will not know which way we're doing it, so it will give us both answers, and we have to choose which one we're doing. In this video, I'm going to just use the calculator, but I would also suggest that you try calculating the mean, the variance, and the standard deviation by hand with at least the second example. It will help understand what's really going on. For the data we're going to use today, I'm going to randomly select two sets of 3-year numbers, and we're going to record how many goals there. And what we're using here is one of the two greatest women's soccer players in U.S. history, Mia Hamm, the other being the recently retired Abby Wambach. And Mia played for 18 years, and there you see her career goal average. Started off a little slow, 0, 0, 0, was playing defense. Then they moved her forward, and there's a string of incredibly good years. So we're going to take her data, calculate the mean variance and standard deviation of her career. Now, first we have to tell in each of these years. So I'm going to use the random number table here. And really, all the way up here in the first row, and I'm going to look for a 2-digit number between 1 and 18, because she played 18 years. So I'm going to go down the chart, and here's the first one. You see here in blue, 11. So remember that number. And then keep going down, 50, 27, 36, 81, 59, 46. There's the next one. It's number 14. So I'll remember that number too. And I keep on going down. And the next time, there's one, 10. Now I keep on going down. I've gotten to the end of that column. So I'm going to start on the next number 3 and 4, 39, 45, 45, 50, and down. Here's the next number I need, 04. Going down, keep going down. You can see there. Number in red, and then finally number 2. So that's going to be the numbers. I started in the upper left and read down until I got, for the first set of 3 in blue, 11, 14, and 10. And for the second set of 3 in red, 4, 14, which I'd used, so I couldn't use it over again, 10, which I'd gotten, so I couldn't use it again, 15 too. Now, for this demo, I'm going to be using the TI emulator software, and this should mimic the same keystrokes that you've got on your calculator. So what do we want to do first? We want to turn on the calculator. Good start, huh? Okay, now on the screen here, you'll see I've got numbers. This refers to the rows and columns that we've got. So turn on the calculator at 9-1. That's right down there. Calculator's on. We want to go to stat, which is, see here, 2, 3. 2 rows down, 3 rows across. There's the stat key. And then we want to we're going to edit. So I can either type the 1 or I can just hit the enter key and we're ready to edit. Now I see over here in L1 I've got some other data. I'll just leave that for the time being. I'll move over 1 to L2. And if I had data in L2 already, I'd want to up arrow and then hit the, see, 3, 5, down 3, over 5. Hit the clear button and then hit the enter button. And that will clear out all the data that we needed. Now I'm ready to actually enter the 3 numbers, which were 4, 2, and 0. So 4, enter, 2, enter, and then 0. Now there's a little quirky thing about the calculator. Sometimes it does not like 0 as the last number. It thinks 0 is nothing, but 0 is not nothing. It's an actual number. So I'm going to switch those two and put the 0 in there and then the 2 in there. And that way the calculator won't get confused about that 0 as the last entry. All right, now what I want to do here, we finished that slide. So now I can go back here and look at what we want to do next. I'm going to go back to stat and then I'm going to calculate again. So let's do that. Bring that back over. Go down 2 over 3 to stat. Now I'm going to see across the top, edit, calculate, test. I'm going to arrow key over 1 to stat. And then I'm going to hit enter, or 1 also works since it's the first one. We want the 1 variable statistics. Now I need to put in where my data is. It defaulted here to L1. I need to put in L2. Now to get to that, on this screen, it's the little light blue numbers. So to get to L2, I have to do the second button, or the shift as some people call it, and then the 2. And you see here, it put the L2 in there. I then arrow key down. There's no frequency list in this problem. I'm ready to calculate. Hit enter. And here we have the data that we need. X bar is 2. Sum of the x's is 6. Sum of the x squared, which we're not going to use in this problem, but is handy for some other things, is 20. Now, here's what we were talking about. S of x and sigma of x. S, remember, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. S is for populations. So the population standard deviation, I've got that. Okay, I've just screwed that whole thing up. What a huge mistake. Okay, sorry. We're going to have to start this whole thing over again. And thanks to the non-editing in Teams, I can't just back up and re-record. All right, starting over. In fact, while I'm at it, let me go back to the calculator and put that 11, 14, and 10 in there. Stat, edit, (11, 14, 10). And enter. And And back to there. Oh, brother. Interesting. I'm gonna take my glasses off. I might be able to do this better with the squinting out of my right eye. Now I can read the screen okay. I can't read the next very well. Check the calculator. I think I can muddle my way through this with this. All right. This will be a first. Okay, here we go. Now it's 3 minutes before 9. Wasted away 20 minutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The purpose of this video is to take a look at how to use the Texas Instruments TI 8384 series of calculators to do some basic statistical data such as mean and standard deviation. To do this, we're going to enter the data in the list. I'm going to use some examples of 3 numbers, and then we'll see how things work out. Now, by way of background, the first thing we have to do is we've got to actually get our data, and so I'm going to random sample using the random number table to generate that. And we want to be cognitive of the idea that there's populations and samples. And in both cases, the mean is gotten by adding up all the numbers and dividing how many data points we have. But for the variance and the standard deviation, when doing the population, we divide by the total number n. When doing a sample, we divide by the degrees of freedom, which is n minus 1. The calculator will not know which we're doing, so we have to know which one we want to do and read the right number off the calculator. I'm going to show you how to use the TI 8384 series to do this. But for some of these, you may want to try the same calculation by hand just to get a feel for how this is done. The data we want to use for this first example is a random set of 3 numbers, and we're going to use one of the greatest American women's soccer players, Mia Hamm, who, along with Abby Wambach, would be 1 and 2 or 2 and 1 in U.S. history. But here is her career, 18 years. Early on, wasn't scoring much. Then she started playing more regularly on the first team. Then they moved her into the forward position. You can see a string of years here with just incredible amounts of goals scored in international competition. And then she retired. So we're going to take this data and we're going to select 3 random years out of that, and then we're going to select another 3. And then for that, we're going to calculate the mean, the variance, and the standard deviation. So first off, we need to use the random number table. Now, on this one, I'm just going to arbitrarily start up here at position number 1. And we're going to go down here looking for numbers that are between 1 and 18 so that we can get 3 random years. So here we are at 89, no, 61, no, 11. Okay. I highlighted that in blue. So that's a number we want to use. Now we keep going down, 27, 36, 81. Keep on going down. And here we go. Here's the second number, 14. So that one's good. That'll be our second one. I've marked it in blue. Then going down, continuing in columns 1 and 2, the 55, 96, 38. No. Oh, here's the next number, 10. Good. Now we've got our 3 numbers for the first sample, 11, 14, and 10.